Now the next command we are going to see here is revolve boss and revolve cut. So for that I'll make one sketch here. Suppose I want objects which are having straight axis but circular cross section, then we can prefer revolve boss and revolve cut command. So for that I have made this sketch here. I'll put the radius here. I'll say it 50 as radius 1 and 30 as radius 2. So there are two different cross sections which are going to revolve against this axis. The sketch should be enclosed one. Now we have to put the linear length here. So I'll put here 80 mm and for this I'll put 120 mm. So I've made two cross sections with two different radius as well as I've provided length here for two cross sections. Now I'll say features and revolve boss. You can see here at upper right side, upper left side. I'll select the revolve boss command. Now you have to provide one axis here. So I'll provide this as an axis. You have to keep in mind that the sketch should be complete enclosed one and there should not be any intersecting line or something here. I'll just provide this as axis. And now you have to provide the angle required to revolve around the axis. So I want it to revolve as 180 degrees. You can see here the object is being revolved at 180 degrees here. Suppose I want to flip the side of revolving, so I can do it by this icon, reverse direction. Now if I want to increase the angle, I can increase the angle also here. Suppose I want 180 degrees at one direction, but on another direction that is opposite to this sketch now and this at this side, so I can go for direction 2 also here. I'll provide one angle here. I'll say this angle at other side as 30 degrees. So now it is coming 30 degrees at other side and on first side it is coming as 180 degrees. And it is revolving against this axis. I'll say it okay. You can see the part has been completed here. Again we will undo the part and go for revolve command, features, revolve boss. You have to select the axis. I'll select the axis and now I'll say 360 degrees complete. So I'll say it okay. You can see part with straight axis and circular cross section is been made here. So only for this purpose we can use revolve command. Suppose this axis is not straight, then we cannot apply revolve command there. Now we'll cross check the diameters here. We'll select the diameter. For that we'll select the edge. At lower right side you can see the diameter is showing here as 100 mm. As the radius here was taken as 50, the other radius was 30, so it will show 60 here as a diameter. So this was the basic concept that you have to make radius of the cross section at one side and revolve it against the axis, that will be converted into diameters. Only thing is the axis should be straight here so as to make the revolve command. So the next command here is revolve cut. For that I'll select one plane to make profile. I'll select this plane in such a way that it should cross the largest cross sectional area of the profile. That is this diameter. I'll select one plane. I'll say front plane. Activate the plane here. And then we'll start making one profile. The profile should be closed one. So I'll make one rectangle here. Then I'll provide the positional dimensions here. I'll say 3 mm. The width of the rectangle I'll take as 40 mm. The depth from the circular edge I'll take it as 8 mm here. Say escape. Now you can see the diameter of the cross section was 140 mm. As soon as we apply this revolve cut here, the dimension from upper side will be 8 mm. The depth of cut same will be for the lower side. It means it will revolve cut on both the sides and total 16 mm will be deducted from the main diameter. From 8 mm from above side and 8 mm from the lower side. So we'll go for revolve cut here now. For that we may require one axis also here. So for axis you can draw the axis manually either, or you can go for hide and show items and show the temporary axis here. After highlighting the temporary axis, we'll go for revolve cut. Select the axis. This axis is only available for cross-sectional area that are circular in nature. So I'll select this axis first, and then you can see this revolve cut is taking place here. You have to provide one angle. I'll say 360 degrees here and say OK. Same as revolve boss. Now the revolve cut is made. The depth of cut was 8 mm from above. That was rotated. Now the total material removed will be 16 mm from the diameter. So here the diameter was 140 mm. And the diameter coming for the cut now is 124 mm. Now we will make some more profiles here by revolve cut. For that I'll select the plane, front plane, sketch. You can also go for top plane here, as it is also passing through the largest cross-sectional area here. Select the plane and say sketch. But we cannot select right plane here, as it is perpendicular to the axis of the main body. So any plane which is perpendicular to the axis of the body, it cannot be selected for revolve cut. So we can't go for revolve cut for right plane. I'll select front plane only and say sketch again. Now we will make 2 to 3 profiles here. I'll make one circle with diameter of 50 mm. Another profile. I'll make a tapered cut. For that I'll make this triangle here. Provide dimensions. We'll minimize the size so as to take it as 20. Then position the sketches here. I select center and left side of the edge. Make it 60 mm. Also define this sketch by 40 and 30. I'll say 20 only. Now you have 2 more profiles. Here the depth of cut will be, the diameter is 20, so the depth of cut will be the radius, that is 10 mm. And here the depth of cut will be taper by the highest depth is 20 mm. Again we need axis. We can go for one line, and we even can put on the temporary axis also here. I'll make line this time, and then select the revolve cut feature. You can see all the profiles are revolving against this axis. It is shown in yellow color here. Then say it OK. If you want to take partial cut, you can provide different angles here. I'll say it 180 and again say it OK. You can see only 180 degrees means half profile cut is been made here. Suppose if you want to make all 360 degrees cut, then change the angle by editing the feature. I'll provide angle as 360 degrees and say it OK again. Now you can see one circular cutout with cross section as circular and another is tapered cut. So all this body is made by only 3 features: revolve, cut revolve 3 and cut revolve 5. You can see here in model tree area. So this will optimize the commands, and in only 3 features I have made this part now. Now we will make one bolt here. For that I'll select front plane and I'll go for sketch, making a rectangle, corner rectangle. I am drawing the shaft first. So I'll take this length as 80 mm. I need diameter of 20, so I'll take this radius as 10 mm. Features and revolve boss. Select the axis of revolution and say it OK. Now the head I want is hexagonal shape, as I am making the bolt here. I'll select the face and say sketch. I'll go for hexagon here. Provide one diameter. I'll say 25. We'll increase the value here. Then you need to provide one relation so as to stop the rotating movement. So I'll make it horizontal. Now you have to extrude boss here. I'll say features, extrude boss, and say it blind as we need to extrude on one side only. I'll say the value here as 20 mm. Say it OK. Now we want to apply one fillet here, and we cannot apply the standard fillet here. So we need to go for revolve cut to apply the fillet. You can also apply the chamfer if it is given here. So for starting the sketch, I'll select one plane. The plane should be in such a condition that it should cross the maximum distance of the cross section. Here the maximum distance will be the corners of the hexagon, any two corners. So I'll select one plane which is passing between two corners. So you can see front plane is passing here between two corners. Top plane is coming at bottom side and perpendicular to the axis. So we cannot go for top plane here. Then you can see also right plane is coming here. But right plane is not passing the maximum distance. It is just passing the sides of the hexagon. The maximum distance will be vertex point, this vertex point to this vertex point, opposite edges. Only one plane is passing, so I'll go for front plane and say it sketch. Now I'll make 3-point arc here. Just avoid the center point and then start the arc. First point, second and third point. To enclose the sketch, provide two lines here. And now you have to make this arc tangent to both the sides. I'll select this tangency. On the other side also I'll make it tangent. And now provide one radius. I'll say it 3 mm here. I'll increase the value as 4. And now we will take one temporary axis. You can either go for line command with center line, or you can select the temporary axis from this side. This option, hide and show items. Now you have both axis and profile. We'll start with revolve cut command. For axis, I'll select this temporary axis, and now you can see this profile has been revolve cut against the axis by 360 degrees. I'll say it OK. You can see a fillet has been made here at the above side of the bolt by using revolve cut. I'll put off the temporary axis now. Next feature we are going to see here is shell command. For that I have made one part here. It is a simple extrude boss by taking a rectangle here. So I have to make this part hollow now. So we'll go for shell feature here. In features tab you can see the shell command. Select the feature. Provide one constant thickness here. So I'll make this thickness as 5 mm. And then say it OK. From outer side it has been observed that there is no change here. But when we take section view here, I'll change the side of the section view. Now you can see this part is been made hollow from inside. Means the material was removed from inner side and the constant thickness from all the sides and from the bottom was considered as 3 mm. So the object is been made hollowed by the shell command. We will see some more features in shell command. Say it edit feature. Now you can provide faces to remove. So I'll consider this face as to remove the face. I'll say it OK. Now you can see this part is been made hollow and the upper face was removed. Constant thickness was taken as 5 mm. All from the four sides as well as from the bottom. We will make the visual style change and say it as hidden lines visible. Here you can see the constant thickness is being shown by the dotted line, hidden line here. That is from sides and from bottom. Next, again go for shell command. Now the material previously was removed from the inner side. If you want to add the material as thickness 5 mm from the outer side, then you can select this command shell outward. So it will add the thickness from outer side and remove the internal material. I'll say it okay. You can see in preview also here. So as to take a demo, this is adding 5 mm thickness from outer sides and removing the internal material. I'll say it okay. Now the thickness has been added from outer side as 5 mm from all sides and the upper face was been removed. We'll select the command and add one more face to remove. I'll say this face now. This face also. So now there are total 3 faces to be removed. I'll say it okay. Now you can see the part here. All the 3 faces were removed and the constant thickness was 5 mm. Again next, you can also add multiple thicknesses here. Instead of this constant thickness, I'll add one different thickness on this face. For that I have to select the multiple thickness settings and select on the face. After selecting the face only, then you have to provide the thickness here. I'll say this thickness as 12 mm. So the other thickness was 5 mm, but at this face we have provided a different value by 12 mm. Again I'll select this face now and provide the different value for the face. I'll say it as 20 mm here. And we have taken shell outward, that's why it is adding material from outer side. If we put off this option, again the material will be removed from the inner side and the thickness will become constant on the other sides of these two sides, and these two faces will have different thickness, that is of 10 and 20 mm. Say it okay. You can see here multiple thicknesses are added here. This was shell command for you. Now we will make one revolve part here with cross section as circular. For that we will start this part with line command and we'll make one close profile. Next we'll provide one length. I'll say it as 160 mm. This length as 40. So as to make the diameter 80, this one as 60. The diameter will be 120 and the last one will be 80. So the diameter here will be 160 after revolving around this axis. We also provide one length here. This another length as 90 mm. We'll go in feature and say revolve command. Select the axis to revolve and say it okay. Now if I want to make this part hollow, I'll go with shell feature and provide one constant thickness here as 5 mm and say this as removing face and say it okay. So now you can see this part has been made hollow here. You can take section view here. For section view, select this tab in view sketch heads up toolbar. Now you can see here this part has been made hollow. Say it okay. The constant thickness here coming is as 5 mm. Suppose I want to change the thickness here and provide one different thickness. So we will go for multiple thickness option. I'll put off the section view. Edit feature for the shell command. And in multiple thickness, I'll select this face and provide one value as 20 mm. So from the other sides, the thickness will be constant, that is 5 mm. But at this face, the thickness will be 20 mm as we are taking multi-thickness settings option here. Say it okay. For visualization, I'll make these lines as hidden visible lines. You can see all the constant size thickness 5 mm here, but at this size, this thickness is 20 mm. So here the thickness is changed by 20 and the other thicknesses are 5 mm. Again make it solid. So this was shell and revolve was revolve cut command. We'll end the session here. Thank you.